Hey, hi guys. Hello and welcome back to my channel Elucidate. And guys, today we would be quickly covering two more topics, which are array index out of bounds exception and illegal argument exception. But before we proceed ahead, in order to understand what these exceptions are all about, I would highly request you guys to watch through all my lectures with respect to exception handling. Why? The reason being is that, guys, normally if you are planning to go for an interview and you do have some time, I mean, you do get 15 to 20 minutes of bandwidth from your first round to your second round, or from your second round to your third round, or even for the first round. I would request you that even if you are traveling, or you are traveling via metro, via train, if somebody is, you have hired a particular cab, Ola, or XYZ, if you do gets at least 15 to 20 minutes of time, even if you just watch my lectures, you would be able to understand the concept, why these exceptions are actually occurring, what is the need of these exceptions, and with the help of a very very clear cut example, you would be able to understand, and so that you can also convey the same example to the interviewer as well, so that next person also gets to know that yes, you do have some knowledge of why and what these exceptions are all about. Guys, I'm just sharing my personal story. I'll just take 30 to 30 seconds. The day I started learning all these exceptions, guys, I have always tried to understand them in the help of, or I always try to visualize them, each and every exception in real life examples. I mean, what whatever kind of things you can imagine or you can visualize, just visualize them in the form of exception, then you would be able to understand, or you would be able to correlate it actually with the help of programming language. I know it doesn't make sense, but it will make sense what I'm trying to say, right? So without wasting time, first let's get back to the lecture, then enough of lecture would be given. Okay. So first thing we need to understand is, what is array index out of bounds exception. Since it, at the start of this exception, it says array index, so it is 100% clear that it will not occur with any other thing. It's bound to occur with the help of array, or with array only, right? So this exception will not come in the place of null pointer exception, right? If somebody says that I can generate a null pointer an array index exception in place of null pointer, so please, I'm not getting into that. Okay. So it's bound to have, or it's bound to occur only with the help of arrays, right? So it means that it would be occurring with arrays. Quickly allow me to depict something. Try to understand it first non-technically, because this is the way how I learn it and how I encourage you guys to learn it. Because do not try to be a techie guy in just one day. It takes hours of effort and it takes years of practice. Then only at a time comes that you are able to write the entire logic in just one go, right? And I have totally told you guys how to write a program in one of my lectures, because you cannot write the program from starting from ending, that is from first line to end line. You write the logic and you build a program. So I have already explained it to you guys. Now getting back to the topic, let's say this is your shelf. I hope all of you guys must be having some shelves in your house. So this is your first rack, second rack, I mean third shelf, fourth shelf. You place your, let's say, shoes over here, you place your clothes, you place your books over here, and here let's say you place your grocery items or munching kind of items which you normally eat in the night while studying, right? But guys, what will happen if I try to search my watch in the fifth shelf? The person sitting next to me will say that, have you gone mad? I mean, what kind of thing you are going to find onto the fifth shelf, which does not even exist, right? So this kind of foolish things, when you start doing it in your Java language, or in any programming language, some sort of exceptions is bound to occur, right? The thing that does not even exist within that particular limit or that particular location, if you're trying to access that thing, you will never be able to find it. There is no fifth shelf, there are only five shelves over here, or there are, let's say, four memory location. The thing which is not even stored over here, how can you find them? I hope I have made some sense, right? Okay, so just getting back to the definition. when we are trying to access an array through any invalid index value. So what do you mean by invalid index value? 5 is an invalid index value over here because fifth shelf or the fifth rack does not even exist, right? Or minus 1. Your rack starts from the shelf 1, 2, 3, 4, but there is no negative shelves. I have never seen a negative shelf in my house, right? Or or anybody's house. So in the same way, in an array, when we try to access an array through invalid index value, that is either negative index value or value that does not even exist, or it is the beyond the length of the array, then it is bound that this kind of exception is gonna occur, right? I'll quickly demo it to you guys so that you are able to understand. I have already created a class over here. Let's say, I'll take example of a string. Let's say string. I'm declaring an array of type string, and now I'm going to initialize values in it, right? Oh, sorry. I'll quickly initialize the values onto it. Like let's say A for apple, B for ball, C for cat. Sorry, my typing is a bit slow today. And D for dog, let's say. Okay. So I have initialized this particular array of type string, and I have entered some values onto it, right? So this is the length. This is the an array of type string. Okay. And now we are going to access these elements one by one. But first, in order to access this particular element, how do you write the logic? You need to know the length of the array. So first of all, we will try to find the length of the array. So length of the array would be like SYSO one dot length, right? So it's gonna print you the length of the array. Can I run it? Yes, I can run it. It says the length of my array is 4, right? But indexing starts from 0, 1, 2, 3. So I'm not going into the detail of that particular stuff. I hope you guys know. So my length of my array is 4. Now I'm going to iterate a for loop with the help of which I'm gonna access all these values, right? So for int I equals, let's say, I'll start with 1. I less than s1 dot length. It means that less than length of this particular array, comma I plus plus. Right. So I hope I am making some sense. What would happen if I run this particular program? See, I already told you guys array index starts from 0, 1, 2, 3. Right? For array length is 1, 2, 3, 4, but the array index starts from 0, 1, 2, 3. I am not going into that detail. So, and since I have started from index 1, that is 1, this is the reason why ball, cat, and dog came over here. If I started with 0, you would be able to fetch all the details, right? This is very, very simple, very, very clear. Now I'm going to make some errors so that array index out of bounds exceptions start appearing, right? So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 are present already there, but as I told you, the minus one shelf is not present in my home, and I believe it is not present at your home as well. So if you do this, it will immediately say that array index out of bound exception, it is out of bound, or this it's not present onto this particular array. You are accessing this a particular array with a negative index value, and negative index value does not even exist, right? So let's say if I do this, let's say if I do 0, and if I do equal to, I hope you are able to understand that length is 4, so 0, 1, 2, 3. So you would be able to extract only these elements till 0, 1, 2, 3, but the fourth element does not exist over here, right? In the same way I have told you over here that the fifth element does not exist, fifth rack does not exist, so it won't be holding any value. In the same way, the fifth element does not exist. There are only four elements, and that too with the index 3. So on to the fourth index, see, it says out of 4 forward length 4. So that's what it's all about. If I just decrease this particular stuff, everything's gonna be okay, everything is fine, right? So this is the very simple example. You can quickly give it to the interview. It will hardly take 30 seconds of time. Give the answers slowly, and try to build a logic technical kind of stuff. You can, it's your will, it's your way. But this is what I thought, that within a short span of time we can cover this particular topic, that is array index out of bound exception. So I hope, guys, I have made myself clear with the help of the theoretical part that I have already explained and jotted down over here, and with the help of demo part. Right now, coming to the illegal argument exception, I'll again quickly cover it because I won't take much time. Right. So first, the theory part. This exception is normally thrown so that we are able to indicate to the end user that you are passing some illegal argument to the method. Those who are able to understand, well and good. Those who have a little bit of grammatical issue, those who have English is not much well, I'll explain it to you in a very, very simple language, right? What is written over here, just read it out. It indicates to the end user, like I am a user, I am using some facility. So it will tell me that you have passed some illegal argument to that method, and this exception would be thrown. So before understanding in terms of Java, guys, I've already told you guys a number of times, always try to understand things in the real life example. It will make you a much better programmer, much better coder, a much better automation tester, a much better person as well, right, in terms of learning. First, I'll cover this particular example. After that, everything will make sense. Everything, right? Let's say what happens. Just try to imagine at this point of time that you go to a particular restaurant. Restaurant means that you go to a McDonald's. Let's say I'm taking the name. You go to McDonald's and specifically ask for Mac Veggie Burger. Right? This is a particular brand that is available in India. I'm not sure about how it goes in other countries, right? Let's say you have ordered for a Mac Veggie Burger, right? But somehow, due to some issue or some technical error, waiter comes and gives you a MacPuff. He has already charged you the amount for the Mac veggie, and now you are expecting that now you are going to this particular kind of burger whose name is Mac veggie, but now you are getting MacPuff, right? So at this point of time, an exception would be thrown from your end that this is an illegal argument. I said something else, and you are providing me something else. I am in a total mood of eating this input from McDonald's, that I will accept only Mac Veggie as an input, and I will feed it to my body. But instead of giving this thing, you are giving me MacPuff to feed into my body, and my body is rejecting it. It is saying that it is an illegal argument exception. I won't be eating it, right? So this is what happens, right? This is what exception is all about, and why you are bound to throw this illegal argument exception. There is a reason behind that. I've already told you guys. Again, I'm just going back to my previous slide. If it's well and good if you handle these all exceptions, but if you do not handle, then also it's good. If you handle it, fine. If you do not handle, then also it's fine. It's not mandatory. I've already explained in my last lecture, right? But that doesn't mean that in case of safety, in case of critical applications, that if let's say it's a pharmaceutical application, instead of entering paracetamol 650, you are passing a value of, let's say, a disprin, or any other medicine onto that particular stuff. So what will happen, when the customer who is going to get that particular medicine, he or she may get irritated at that point of time, because they have asked for paracetamol and you are giving them uh, a discipline or whatever. I mean, whatever the medicine they have asked, you are not giving to them. So it may also hamper the a health of a person, because if that person does not check, it may hamper the health. And if that person is checking that particular stuff, then that person is bound to raise some sort of exception. But if you handle it, if you not handle it, I will tell you how it works onto your Java programming language. Okay, again, just back to this particular stuff just one more time. Illegal argument exception, it is thrown so that we indicate to the end user that you are passing some illegal value, right? And secondly, it should be thrown, it's written over, it should be thrown when a value is provided to an argument that is not working within the business logic of the application. Let's say you say, you call the waiter, you say that, hey dude, I asked for Mac veggie burger, but you're giving me this Mac buff. What if that waiter simply smiles and says, it's okay sir, and starts serving the other customers? and you also start eating that McPuff, what will happen? I mean, it's a bizarre kind of situation, right? You paid for Mac Veggie Burger. You are bound to eat. It's your legal obligation. I mean, it's your legal right that if you have paid for something, you are going to get to eat that particular stuff. You are also calling that waiter, then the waiter is simply smiling on you, and the waiter is saying that it's okay, fine, and you start eating it. Why I'm giving this particular kind of weird, illogical kind of example, guys, you would be able to understand with that the programming language, because whatever I say, I I've seen people getting confused over there, right? So I'm going to give you guys a very important example over here that I've jotted it down over here, right? So guys, onto this particular example, let's say I've created already a particular function, right? Let's say eating in McDonald's, and I've passed a value as a string burger, right? So this would be your input. Just a simple condition I have jotted it down over here, that if burger is equals mac veggie, then print this order is correct, else throw this particular exception. What the hell is this, right? So whenever I am creating the object of this particular class, this is how we create an object of a particular class, like class name, then object reference variable equals to new, then class name, and your object gets created, right? And with the help of this object a dot, I have called this particular method that got created over here. Now let's try to run it. Let's see what happens. It says the order is correct. Everything is fine, right? If I say that, a MacBook is getting passed over here, it will totally generate an exception at this point of time. That what the hell are you are giving me, right? But if the order is correct, it will say that order is totally correct, right? This is what happened if you are what you have paid for, if you are getting it, and if you are not getting what you have paid for, it will simply generate an exception. So this program is working fine. Now let's make it a totally incorrect one. Incorrect in the sense, let's say I'll remove this particular line. I'm just removing it so that you are able to understand why I am saying that, waiter is coming and smiling and you are also waiting. Now comes the important part. Please try to understand and please pay very important attention. I am just printing SYSO, order is incorrect. Okay. If your burger that you have ordered is mac veggie, it will simply print order is correct. Otherwise, it's gonna print is incorrect, right? And let's say when you are doing or paying for that particular thing, that waiter instead of giving you a mac veggie, he entered that a mac puff. This customer is asking. Let's say quickly run it. So this is what is happening. You paid for McVeggie, right? And as in I have told you into that particular example, waiter came and waiter gave the incorrect value over here. Waiter passed the incorrect value to this particular method so that we can indicate to the end user that you have passed some illegal argument. But what we are indicating, we are still saying that order is incorrect and your program is still running properly. There are no exceptions. See, it is totally incorrect, right? If you have paid for something, you are not getting it, still my program is working fine. I am not getting error, not even single warnings I am getting, because it is still fine for Java, right? But for you, for your safety critical application, for medical application, for let's say for a restaurant kind of application, this is still not correct, right? It should show exception. It's like the scenario, as I have already told you, I'm re-emphasizing. It's like scenario, it's the same scenario that you have paid for McVeggie, you ask waiter what kind of service you are giving, and waiter is simply laughing at you, and you are also going and starting to eat that particular stuff. So this is that particular scenario, and this is what is not intended. Whenever you will be getting your user stories, everything would be in a proper manner. So I have tried to depict this illegal argument exception, because an illegal argument is being passed to this particular method. The correct argument that should have been passed is MacVeggie, right? But this is not still working. This is not still correct. MacPuff XYZ, let's say hit totally thing, but still it's showing me the order is incorrect. But what to do? So you have to escalate this issue to the manager of the McDonald's, right? So now we are going to escalate this issue to the manager of let's say McDonald's. We are going to file a particular query, or we are going to call that particular manager. See, this is what your waiter is doing, right? So this is this is why you need to throw illegal argument exception, because into this particular example everything is wrong, but still it is totally non-usable kind of program. So into these kind of scenarios you need to pass these illegal argument exception, and within braces you need to specify that please give me the proper burger that I have asked for. Guys, I hope I am making sense. So now it is totally raising a red alarm. This is what this is what the real importance of illegal argument exception. The program was also working fine with normal if and else. So what is the use of this particular exception? You deliberately have to throw this particular exception. So so that this exception gets thrown to the user, and user gets to know that please give me the proper burger that I have asked for, or let's say please provide correct order. So once you run this particular program, anyone sitting at the McDonald's will be able to see that it is showing illegal argument exception. It means that that customer is not getting a valid order. Guys, this is a very simple example why I have wasted so much of time, because I have seen people getting confused so much between illegal argument and illegal state. With the help of this example I will also cover illegal state, but for this particular point of time just try to understand what illegal argument exception is all about. So learn, or try to memorize, or try to visualize this particular example. And you guys, I'm dead sure if with the help of these two lines you would be able to create the entire logic, and why it is showing this particular error, how it was working before. Because if I just write else through it is incorrect, still my program is running. I want an exception because this is not what my business logic wants, right? So guys, this was all about these two I mean exceptions, that is array index out of bound and illegal argument exception. In my next lecture I'll be quickly covering state, concurrent and runtime. I'll try to wrap them up as soon as possible, right? So guys, thank you for your time and thank you for your patience, and I hope you guys have liked the lecture. Please give us a like. It simply motivates me, and please stay tuned for some of the next very important interview questions I do have, but they were not related to this particular. They were not related to array index or illegal argument exception, but in my next lecture I'll quickly cover them as well, right? So guys, thank you for your time, thank you for your patience. Stay safe and stay healthy. Thank you.